Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is NZ Rookie, and welcome back to another moving picture from myself, Timothy Joseph Johnson. What is this intro? I don't know, but what I do know is that in 2 weeks' time, I am going to be running my first ever ultra marathon. Okay, so here's some classic Tim logic for you. So you've usually start at half marathon, and then after half marathon you graduate, you go to marathon, then after marathon you graduate that and you go to ultra marathon. I just thought I'd do none of them, skip all of them and go straight to ultra. Is it logical? No. Will I get destroyed? Probably, but this is, if you know me, this is just the kind of person that I am, right? I just go from one extreme to the next. I don't go slow, I don't slowly progress. I just literally go from one extreme to the other. Hence, we're running my first ever ultra marathon in 2 semanas time, 2 weeks time. So do I know what I'm doing? No, not really. I'm kind of just like pretending I know what I'm doing, but that's kind of, it's kind of just how I've always gone about life, is just, I mean, who really knows what they're doing? Does anyone actually know what they're doing? No, everyone just kind of like, pretends they know what they're doing, and then you go and you do it, and you cock it up, but then you learn from that cock up. And then you cock enough things up, and you learn enough times until you learn how to do it. Basically, it's going to be my first experience running an ultra. It's probably not going to be good, but I'm going to try my best, cock things up along the way, and ultimately just do my best. But I do want to share with you what my current plan is, okay? Right now, I'm no ultra marathon genius. Right, I'm just your average genius, okay? But with that said, I'm going to apply the knowledge I've picked up from training over the years and hopefully apply it to the ultra prep. Now, I know what you're thinking. John Skin, is this your 100 at 100? No. Okay, it's not. And the reason it's not is because I'm not quite 100 kilos yet, okay? I'm stuck at about 95, 96. Worst comes to worst, I might just have to do that challenge with a 5 kilo pack on. But I want to give it a good crack first, see if I can actually get there. So this is more just a benchmark, okay? It's a benchmark to see where I'm at. So first thing I need to go over is, what is this race? What am I doing? How does it all work? Okay, so the race that I'm doing is called the Crazy Backyard Ultra. Okay, it's taking place in Christchurch, and it is a non-stop race. Okay, so the way a non-stop race works is it's basically a loop. So it's a 6.7k loop, so nearly a 7k loop, and you've got to complete that loop every hour on the hour for as many hours as you possibly can. If you can't complete the loop, if you don't make it in time, you're not on the start line by the time the siren goes. If someone helps you when you're on the track, if you take a shit on the side of the track, or alternatively you start early, then you're out. Okay, you're gone. That's you done. The goal essentially is to run that 7k loop for as many hours as physically possible, just until you drop, until you physically can't waddle along any further. So just for a bit of context, the 6.7k loop is in Christchurch, so obviously I need to factor in, it's probably going to be cold, it's possibly going to be wet, and it's also near the coast, so it could be a bit muddy and a little bit sandy. So what am I doing for that? Not a lot. Nah, that's not true. So I was originally going to run this by myself, literally just drive down with my Camelback. All I was going to have in my Camelback was going to be water and a jar of honey, just a neck on my way around the course. Told my mum, she was like, "Tim, you're probably going to die." I was like, well, potentially. So she's decided to be my support crew for this, so I'm going to have big up Mumsy down there with me, helping me out. She's got like a little tent. She's going to be making up like the fluids I'm going to be drinking, food, all that good stuff that you need. Because realistically, you do kind of need like a support crew for, events like this. So she's going to be helping me out on this run. Absolute legio. And the reason I mention that is because obviously it being down in Christchurch, it potentially being sandy, I'm going to have multiple pairs of clothes, so I'm going to be running in a thermal. I'm going to take down like 4 thermals in case it's wet. That way, after a couple hours, I can take them off, put other thermals on. So if I'm getting wet, sandy, moldy feet, I can whip my shoes off, dry my feet, apply like foot powder, dry my feet off, put on a new pair of shoes with some clean socks. And then that way I try and avoid getting virtually trench foot. And then I'm also going to buy a wank addict quantity of Vaseline just to put on, like, I typically get chafing under my arm, so I'm going to buy a crap ton of Vaseline to pretty much put everywhere. Not quite everywhere. So that's all the like environmental measures I'm taking to an extent. Food, what kind of food am I gonna be eating throughout? So I think for the most part, I'm gonna be eating honey because it's super easily digestible, high in carbs, dates, once again, easy carbs, getting some carbohydrates from fruit in there as well. And then I'm also gonna be adding a bit of peanut butter because there's a little bit of salt in the peanut butter, a little bit of fat as well to slow down that digestion, and some protein in there. Obviously, the most important thing is carbs, so I'm going to be trying to get between like 80 and 100 grams of carbs every hour. Obviously, running, eating, and drinking don't really go together, so while I've been training, I have been trying to drink more. My eating's still not been great, but like I say, this is just a benchmark learning experience. Fluid, now obviously fluid's extremely important. Now, it's probably going to be cold. It's not going to be that warm, and I'm only going to be wearing one layer. So hopefully I don't sweat heaps. Obviously I'm going to be sweating a lot regardless because I'm, you know, running an ultra marathon. But I'm going to be running with a Camelback. Camelback, I think it carries about 1.5 or possibly 2 liters of fluid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make up a solution. That solution is going to be coconut water, 1500 mils, 1.5 liters of coconut water. It's going to have probably 2 teaspoons of salt. That's about, what's that? I think that's about 4.6 grams of sodium. And then I'm also going to add like 1 serving of electrolytes to that solution to just make like an electrolyte bomb solution. Now, overhydration, hyponatremia is potentially a risk factor, but I think the chance of me getting that, considering I'm not the best person at drinking while I'm running, and I'm going to be running for so long and sweating the whole time, and I use sauna, like heat exposure, so my body's naturally adjusted to sweating, like I'm a good sweater, i.e. I use a lot of fluid to cool me down. So although these electrolyte levels are going to be quite high, I think they're going to be where I want them. And I'm basically going to consume that solution, so that makeup of 1.5 liters of coconut water, 2 teaspoons of salt, like sodium chloride, and just a serving of like an electrolyte solution. I'm going to be trying to consume one of those at the max probably every 3 hours. And then in terms of my food, I realistically want to be eating like 4 tablespoons of honey, 50 grams of dates, and like a peanut butter slug. You know those things you can, why am I doing that on camera? It's a bit dodgy in it. But like those peanut butter slugs, you can just like open them up, squeeze them in, away you go. Probably one of those, and just try and keep that up every single hour. And hopefully that'll keep me fueled for the duration. Other than that, I'll be wearing a head torch, so I can, you know, run in the dark. Obviously, you guys are going to be coming with me in the form of my phone and in the form of this guy here, cheeky little 360 camera. I'm going to be filming the whole experience, so if you're excited to see me absolutely die in about 2 weeks, make sure you give this video a like. But yeah, look, it's going to be intense. It's going to be hard. I'm going to push to my absolute max. My goal is 12 hours. That'll be around 80K. I think that'll be a good first attempt. We'll see how that goes. Obviously, if I get to 12 hours, that'll be pretty awesome, and I want to see how far past that I can go. It might not be realistic. This is the heaviest I've ever been, essentially, but I'm optimistic. I absolutely can't wait. It's going to be brutal. I think I'm going to be recovering for like a couple days, but I'm just slowly starting to mentally prepare myself for how hard it's going to be. But yeah, I can't wait. I hope you guys can't wait either, because who doesn't love seeing someone absolutely die on the internet? But yeah, life's good. Can't wait. The week beforehand, I'm going to Mardi Gras to get absolutely raucously pissed, so it's probably not optimal, but do I give a bollocks? Not really. If anything, doing that provides a bit of extra difficulty, therefore extra stimulus, so when I do the 100 at 100, it's going to be even easier, right? That's the power of the mind. Positive mindset. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed today's video, please leave a like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. I will see you in a future video very soon. Adios.
It's hard to breathe, but that's alright.